You ever see that movie Doctor Strange?
It's very good.
You know how he has that cape that helps him out?
Yeah, the magical cape that has sentience.
Yeah. It's this magical cape, and every time he's in trouble, this magical cape comes and helps him out because he's a good dude, and the cape likes what he's doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you can kind of do that for this show.
What? You could be our magical cape?
You could be our magical cape and help us keep the show going and help us grow the show. To find out how, go to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.
Be our magical cape.
Love to see a giant Venus flytrap.
Do it.
Think about it, Cincinnati Tourism Board. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens. What if you took a brain out of a body and then put blood into it?
Are you scheduling our afternoon?
Yeah. Are you down?
I mean,
are you fucking ready, dog?
Did you get the body? Do you got the brain?
Do you got the blood?
Yeah, baby.
9 pints.
That's how they made Reese's peanut butter cups, I think.
Yeah. It's just, you got your blood in my brain.
I got your brain in my blood.
And now we've shared a communicable disease. Because you're not supposed to share a lot of blood
or brain.
in a lot of cases. Here's what's up. A bunch of U.S. researchers have successfully decapitated pigs.
Oh, okay.
And then kept their brain cells alive for 36 hours.
Sweet. Just long enough for us to feel real guilty about those pigs.
Well, what we do is we keep them alive, we turn them towards their body, and then we show them how a butcher works.
The real sad thing is we show them a web that has a message just for them in it.
It says some pig. It says delicious ham. And then the spider flies away.
Sad on two levels. Mostly because of the decapitation.
I don't know. The friendship that was forged with that spider, that's a pretty big deal. So the researchers have succeeded in delivering oxygen to the cells via a system of pumps and blood maintained at body temperature.
Hey, Anthony, I have a question.
Yeah.
Why do we want to do this?
You gotta keep the blood. You keep the blood warm.
Do we want?
And then move it.
We need
through pig brain.
We need pig heads,
and then pigs stay alive.
Okay,
and then brain is there for 36 hours.
We got to keep those brains going. Is this something that's going to help us in some way?
Pig is there, and then dead. But then it's
going to make bacon taste better.
They put blood into it. And then it's good.
Yeah.
For pig.
Is there a banh mi sandwich at the end of this?
So here's what's up. They basically want to be able to restore blood circulation at a micro level.
Okay.
So there are a lot of things that can happen in the human brain that are really bad that happen because of circulation of blood to the brain becomes restricted in some way. Blood circulation in some area stops working, or blood circulation in other areas of the body stops working in a specific way and then makes an injury impossible to heal.
Like a decapitation.
It
just won't heal.
So this is a way to kind of study, can we keep a brain alive? Can we restore circulation in a small area that requires a certain amount of delicacy that we previously did not have before with just, I don't know, I guess a plexiglass tub of blood that we keep warm.
Just drop it in a plopping sound.
You just put it on a simmer, I guess.
The hard part is not splashing the blood.
I'm picturing like the liquid cooler for like a PC where it's like the box of weird green liquid.
Oh, that's totally what it is.
And then the two tubes, and then they just go into pig head.
Yeah.
And then pig head is alive.
You got to have your heat sink gel on there.
Yeah. And it's just,
paste.
I know I don't know what it is with like when you say decapitation and when you talk about experiments that have to do with like pumping blood into the body from outside of the body. I never picture it in like a clean lab environment. I always picture it in like a fucking Rob Zombie movie.
Yeah.
Like it's just the House of 1,000 Corpses version of this science experiment where like dude literally has a pot of blood on low simmer, and then like bendy straws.
The bottom of the neck stub is like not clean cut. It's like a serrated edge, right? Because it's got tendrils hanging off of it, and then just a couple of tubes stuck into the bottom.
Yeah, and the second you stick the tubes in, the pig starts just like squealing, just like squeal. That's not what this is like.
No,
this is not like that. No, it's just the brain. They have it in a very sterile environment, and they're using it.
When does the pig squeal then?
When it's alive.
Oh.
That's the pig squeals when it's alive. And then you decapitate it, remove its brain, and then it doesn't squeal anymore, Jeff.
No squealing?
No.
Then why are we even doing this?
Well, because of Alzheimer's and cancers and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're gonna try to stop those. But the big deal here is obviously when you put out an experiment like this, half of what you're doing when you're putting out your press release is explaining what you're doing and why. And then the other half of it is saying, here's why it's not unethical.
Here's why it's not an abomination.
Here's why this is not a terrible nightmare. And this is definitely one of the things that they initially...
I'm excited for paragraph 2.
Yeah. So the lead researcher was like, listen, we know that there are ethical issues that are raised in this sort of research. So like the key question being like, if you revive...
These heads were going to fall off anyway.
Yeah, if you revive a brain, particularly... Because now that they've done it on a pig brain... They want to do it on a human brain,
of course,
right?
Yeah, first pig, second human. That's the rule of all science.
That's the rule of all science. Pigs, then humans.
Yeah.
But the key question is, if you revive a brain this way, would that human being involved have memories or an identity? Would all that stuff still be there?
They would never be able to express it to us. So how would we know?
So like, just shut up about it. Be cool.
You would never be able to tell.
It's not connected to anything, so we'll never know. So shut up.
If a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it.
Oh, this is just a brain trapped and it's like scared and confused. It doesn't matter. I don't know that.
We don't know. It can't tell you.
I can't tell.
It's not going to scream.
It's just brain. But what the lead researcher is saying is like, after the brain is decapitated, removed from the body and then revived, they don't think there's any sort of consciousness or memories or anything left in it. They don't know for sure, but they are relatively sure that like, hey, at this point, it is just like the physical structures of a brain.
Right.
It doesn't.
We don't, obviously no soul.
There's probably no identity.
There's no soul.
The soul leaves the body, as we all know, through the mouth after you die in the form of a moth. And the moth flies away to the heaven.
Yeah.
And then the brain is just brain. And that's science too.
Just science.
That's just science. Brain, it turns into spider, leaves a little message that says good life in a web, and then flies away. And that's the soul. So there was nothing to indicate that the cells experienced any form of consciousness. But I don't know. It doesn't really say what they tested.
Consciousness is.
Yeah.
We don't know what consciousness is. You can't just categorically say, well, we took the brain out, but, not any of the important shit.
Yeah. In an open letter published Wednesday in Nature magazine, the other 16 top scientists and philosophers said the authorities should lay down specific rules to guide them in their work on human brains. So while this guy is saying there was no consciousness, as far as there's no reason for there to be any consciousness, he's also saying like, look, if you guys regulate this, and you should, people should be paying attention to this.
Right.
And if you are and you want to regulate it, that's fine. But he also said what we're using right now are surrogate brains, right? Where we take brain cells and we put them in a petri dish and we let them grow to a certain, like they're little mini brains. Mm-hmm. It's like, how you have like the 12-inch G.I. Joe and then you have like the little mini army man.
Yeah, I got you.
It's an adorable little
it's not full on Reese's peanut butter cups. It's Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, it's like little Reese's Pieces. But what he's saying is like, hey,
this episode brought to you by Reese's Pieces.
What he's saying is like, look, if we keep using these surrogate brains, we're going to want these surrogate brains. We're going to want to let them grow into larger and larger until they're more of a facsimile of a human brain. Fill up this entire
room. Until they bust through the door and then they slimely just move themselves down the street.
In a slimely fashion. They're just going to slimely move down the street.
Down the street. And then people see them coming down the road and they'll start screaming.
Look out, it's moving slimely this way.
The brain doesn't care. It just absorbs them and gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Good Lord. There's no way to stop it. It's moving so slimely. If it was walking or rolling or doing something, we'd be able to stop it. This is just such a slimely motion.
Look how it's moving. How would you describe it?
Slimely. You have to run away from it in a zigzag, I think. No, that's alligators. They don't move slimely.
No.
They just move straight.
It's more like a snail.
It's a slimely. Now we have to study snails to see how to stop the killer brain, which is moving slimely.
Oh, man.
No, but the idea is if we build surrogate brains, right? If we make surrogate brains in the lab that are one-to-one brains, do they have consciousness?
Yeah. Are we God?
Is there a way?
Are we God?
Is we God yet? If not, when? Can we God now? But that's the thing is like, can we use a full human brain if we know that the end game of surrogate brains is just to make them a full human brain anyway?
Right. It doesn't matter at a certain point.
At a certain point, we got to study a brain.
What's worse, using something that was a people or making a new people?
My theory is you grow brain in jar, in petri dish. Brain has never been hooked up to body.
Right.
Brain is
all
not,
it knows is brain.
Yeah, so that's like
it can't be people.
There's no input or output for it to gain any sort of consciousness
until it starts moving slimely.
Until it starts moving slimely around, slimely about from here to there, as it says in the old nursery rhyme. But that's I think. But then the other problem is, does that surrogate brain react to things in the same way as a brain that was attached to a human body? There's a certain amount of brain activity that is built around input and the reaction to what's going on around us.
Right.
We have to learn a certain amount of patterns and things for the different cortices and the different parts of the brain to respond and grow in the way that they do in a human being.
But the real problem here is that we don't actually have a definition of consciousness. We don't know what constitutes consciousness, and so we can't identify it. We can't. Something could behave in a way that seems like it's conscious and it's not conscious.
Yeah, like it's moving slimely.
Yeah,
like it
seems like it knows where it's going.
It's pretty slimely.
Let's just see where it's going.
Yeah, we thought it was moving slimely, but it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It was moving in more of a bop. It looked like a slimely motion, but it was more of a bopping motion, and so that's not twisted. Slimely. Yeah. So I don't know. What is your feeling on this? What do you think it is okay to continue this sort of research? And would you rather see it done on human brains or on brains we made in the lab?
So the idea here is I have to consider the fact that someone can die, donate their body to science, their brain can be kept alive, and that may end up actually helping people live longer, curing diseases, all kinds of things.
As the brain potentially screams in a jar.
Yes.
What is the darkness? Why can't I express myself? What a terrible thing.
Yes. An unending agony that we don't know we are inflicting on this person who just wanted to donate themselves to science.
Or flip side, maybe the brain disconnected from all sensory input and output just goes into like a sleepy, dreamy state.
Yeah. That's probably what it is.
Maybe it sleeps in dreams forever.
Yeah, because there's never been anything horrifying in a dream.
No, I've never seen anything terrible in a dream.
Right.
Certainly not.
Yeah. And then the other side is we create brains from nothing and we maybe create a consciousness that is only pain.
Sure.
And suffering.
Or.
So we're literally manifesting suffering into the world.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
And that's on us.
It's a would you rather. It's a would you rather.
It's sort of
it's a fun game to play. Would you rather?
Murder, fuck, marry. What is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a murder, fuck, marry.
I would marry the Slimely. And no. I think that I honestly would probably roll the dice and say chances are there's no consciousness. And the potential benefits outweigh the potential horrific crimes we're committing against, consciousness.
Yeah. And so I'm trying to put myself in the position of an organ donor.
Right.
Like that's what I'm doing right now. I'm in the position of an organ donor. I would never donate my organs. I would never donate my organs. I'm going to have my entire body dipped in copper. Okay?
Just so they can't get to
the whole thing.
Because I can't get to my precious organs.
And I'm going to be placed on display in town square. That's my last will and testament.
It must be
my
honored.
body is special and it's only for me.
First, we must construct a town square.
Yes. Which costs 30,000 bells. What up, Animal Crossing? Sometimes I forget we're not a video game podcast and maybe not everybody. Anyway, it doesn't matter. No, I am an organ donor. And as an organ donor, I'm trying to think like, what happens if it is consciousness and there's an extra, after death, there's an extra 36 hours of screaming and silence.
This is a Black Mirror episode, right?
It is a Black Mirror episode.
You wake up in a horror show of yeah.
You want to take my heart? Take my heart. You want to take my spleen? Take my spleen. You want to take my brain? I think that's probably where I am.
It might be.
That might be where I am.
Yeah.
Leave me be. But I think they would have to immediately harvest this thing from you as well.
Right.
It's tricky. It's tricky. I would say, yeah, let's roll the dice. Use my brain.
Use it.
Use it.
You know what? I've been through worse than 36 hours.
I've definitely screamed for more than 36 hours.
Yeah.
And felt like no one was listening.
I once had a flight delayed for 36 hours.
Yeah.
You know, it can't be worse than that.
Cannot be worse than like a Tom Hanks, The Terminal situation.
This is the terminal of the mind.
The terminal of the mind is what Timothy Leary called it. But what would you do, dear listener? How would you feel about this?
Yeah.
Is it because here's the thing, could be your brain.
Yeah.
Are you cool with your brain potentially screams?
But it could be we save lots of other people.
Yeah.
You know?
If your brain could screams for 36 hours, and then maybe you're the brain that cures Alzheimer's.
Or maybe you're the brain that grows very large and moves slimely down the street.
I mean, it seems like it's more of a win than a lose, but you can let us know on Twitter. I'm at @Carboni.
I'm at Jeff Canada.
And you can hashtag those Slimely. And I do think there's an E in Slimely.
Oh, definitely. An E.
I think
Gotta
it's
have an E.
SLIMELY.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you do with
I mean,
those.
you're saying that like it's not in the dictionary.
Like it's not a word we use all the time to describe a type of motion. Slimely.